Dario Costa, Red Bull, right now the big Red Bull superstar. Thanks for joining us on Air Sports News, Dario.
Thank you, pleasure. Thank you very much, honored.
You must still be in the middle of a media circus. It must be going crazy for you right now.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm still dizzy. I'm still in Istanbul. It's incredible, but it's kind of going through my mind still the whole project, and it's been one full year of full immersion in the project, and it's not that easy to cut and go back to daily life.
Yeah, I mean, you've done a lot of amazing projects. Your Nambia with Hamilton. I mean, that was years and years in production. Every time you've really put yourself right in the thick of making this happen. This one in Turkey, these 2 tunnels, new world record. Let me have a look at the stats here. 2.4 kilometers, 245.7 kilometers an hour. Man, really, every time I watch it, I've just watched it again now, it makes my palms sweat. There's only 2 things in aviation that give me this, and that's watching you do those tunnels and watching Luke Aikins, Red Bull athlete, do his jump without the parachute.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And a year in the making, where did the idea come from and how did it begin, Dario?
Well, it's a very old idea I had when I was 12 years old, in 1992, 1993, let's say. So when I was 12, 13 years old. So it's 29 years that I've been somehow, without knowing it, working for it. And 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I felt that I was ready to make it happen, or at least to try to work on it. And I asked Red Bull the support to make this idea a reality. And a year and a half later, Kutlu Bakracoglu from Red Bull Turkey, which was I was working with him for some air shows since already the year before. So he knew me. I was doing air shows in Istanbul. He said, Dario, I think I have what you're looking for, because I was looking for the tunnel. Of course, right. It's not so easy to find the right one, and in the right place, in the right way I wanted to have, and he found the tunnel for me.
Wow. And then the process, I would imagine you start with some 3D modeling and simulations and...
Yeah. I mean, exactly. We started with, I have to say that I knew there was some science, but I was not expecting there was so much science. And when we approach Bionic Surface Technologies, which is a very famous company in Austria because of their work on the shark skin, they created the shark skin for the race planes. Well, we approached them and we asked them, can you help us? And they say, well, we can help you, but be ready for something really big. I mean, this is not gonna be, a walk in the park. And I say, okay, let's see. So the first thing we did is we did the 3D scan of the machine, of my edge, exactly as it is. We didn't modify anything. The edge is exactly the same I've been using these last years. And they placed the 3D model, the dynamic model, inside the tunnel at the speed that I told them of 120 knots, which is the speed I wanted to have as an average. And they place it in the tunnel. The tunnel has a different shape, and there are 2 tunnels, and there is a free space in between. So we focused a lot on the second tunnel, which was the most critical one. And the shape of the tunnel from round becomes square at about 1.2 kilometers. After 1.2 kilometers, and then the last 500 meters are square. So this was creating some even more problems.
Yeah.
So they did the 3D modeling. They told me, okay, after a few weeks of their computer working, they came up to me and they said, Dario, this is it. And, we can start from here, and then we will continue doing simulations in the office, and we keep you updated. And the first thing we noticed is that the air was going to create some waves. So me pushing the air inside the tunnel forward would have created a reaction backwards of air moving me up and down, increasing my lift or decreasing my lift. And the first increase, the biggest one of the biggest 3, is at the entrance of the second tunnel, which is an increase in lift. So I decided to be at about 30 centimeters from the ground at the entrance of the second tunnel. So I trained myself visualizing to be at 30 centimeters, so that in case I was not fast enough to react, I had a large margin on top. And then there were other 3 small waves, and then there was the second big one that was at the shape change of the tunnel, And this time was a decreasing lift, so was putting me down. So there I wanted to be a 70 centimeter from the ground. And then there was another one, big one, that was at the exit, which was again another reduction of the lift. And in that case, I decided to be full throttle and going full power out, pulling up as soon as smoothly, but smoothly going up. These are the biggest three waves. And then there were other problems. The lateral inclination of the tunnel is 2.5 degrees. So you don't have a ground effect. You don't have the normal ground effect you think. So you have to fly the plane all the time to keep the plane straight and not being parallel to the terrain or something like that. But you can see it from the video, from the tail camera, it's very visible, the work I'm doing. And then you have roof effect, which is something that sucks you up. So you have to keep pushing the plane down because the plane wants to go up. And the engineers calculated 1.40 meters was really the maximum I should have gone. Otherwise, it would have been very, very difficult to keep it down.
Yeah.
This was all theory, you know. So
yeah.
Then they give me the theory, and then I have to decide what to do. What do I do now? I don't have a tunnel to test. I can only try once. I have to do a takeoff from inside the tunnel because that was the whole plan I had in mind. And then I had to go out, open sky, wind, whatever, and then keep it low, and then go into this second tunnel with all these problems. So then I just went to the trainers at the Red Bull Athlete Performance Center and I said, guys, can you help me? We have to basically train me for something I cannot train in the airplane. So they said, okay, what is exactly physically what you have to do? First, you have to be very fast. The reaction time has to be very, very quick, but it's not reaction time like they sometimes calculate. You do this when you hear a sound. It's you have to catch something or you have to be precise with your stick in that amount of time. It was 1/4 of a second, 250 milliseconds. And I had to be fast and precise. And so the first thing is, okay, we have to replicate your body sensation in a plane, which we know is kind of 3 dimensions. So they put me on a balance board, they put the screen where I had to hit the certain colors. So I had to have a cognitive reaction. So not just hit it like a robot. You have to decide when to hit and what not, and when not. Plus, they were pulling my neck to replicate a little bit the sensation of the G-force, even if there was no G-force in the plane. But I wanted to be as much as possible in the airplane environment. Plus, has to be dark and with the lights changing. So they put strobe glasses on my eyes to do all this. So this was basically one of the exercises. Then at the basis, I had to be fit because I couldn't start to feel pain during the 40 seconds or start to do this, or I need to scratch myself. I had to be 100% sure that nothing from my body would have distracted my eyes or the rest of my movement. So that was the basis. So we train endurance, strength overall. And then I wanted to lose weight to be light as possible because I wanted the plane to be very light. So this is basically, quickly talking, is the training. But of course there is more, but the documentary will come out and we'll explain more of it. The trainers will talk about it. I just wanted to give you a quick one. I think I was too long. Sorry for that.
Never too long. I could listen for hours. Is it the most challenging thing you've done?
Yeah, by far, because whatever I did before, the Formula 1 track review was really challenging from a physical point of view, and I had to be very tight. But at the end of the day, it was a racetrack, was air racing. So I was air racing. The only difference that I had no margin for error in the, but I still had one exit, which was upwards.
Yes.
Here I had no exit here, so I had only one exit, which was forward. So I had to just keep. When I started, I knew I had to finish. The only way out I had was in between the two tunnels. So if something was wrong, I could have pulled up there. But apart of that, once I was in the second tunnel, or even the takeoff, which took a lot of my nerves, because you want to take off, but you need to take off aggressive, because I had only 280 meters because the first tunnel is turning, so I wanted to start almost at the middle, but I was displaced because the exit, I wanted to be straight to the exit, to be straight for the rest of the tunnels, and I had to be smooth, but at the same time, I said I had to be short. This plane can take off in 100 meters, no problem, but you can't take off in 100 meters being so smooth without risk of ballooning and going into the roof. And again, you have when I was sitting in the plane, I could see nothing, so I had to put the tail up as soon as possible, then look out and then keep the plane there straight and then smoothly lift off. So it was full power and then reduce power and then keep it there. That was already challenging. So I think there is nothing of this project that was not the most challenging thing I've done. Everything from takeoff to the flight to the landing.
And those areas which the simulation guys had told you about, the lifts and the drops, were they there? The waves, could you feel them?
I could feel the wave at the entrance. If you see slow-mo, actually, you see the movement of the plane, and I could feel the roof effect and the inclination of the floor. Wow, that was feelable. Yeah, but the rest of the waves, I think I was really in the flow and was so ready for that. I visualized this. I rewatch it in my mind so much. I trained so much for it, even if without flying, that everything came really in an automatic way. So the flow was perfect. If you ask me exactly if I reacted to the entrance of the second tunnel, I don't remember. We even thought about, they even had to train me to blink, because when we were training for the 45 seconds estimated time, I was never blinking. And York Köppler, the mental coach, was forcing me and said, Dario, you need to blink. You need to clean your eyes, so you have to blink. And you said, decide 2 or 3 moments where you can blink safely and do it. And when I finished the fly, I asked him, York, I think I didn't blink, I'm sorry. And he said, well, let's check the video. And then we checked the video, and I'm blinking 3 times actually.
3 times was it, yeah?
Yes, I'm blinking at the exit of tunnel number 1, yeah. Afterwards, because it was the critical moment, was the takeoff for me. So when I got out, I was, okay, it's done. Wind is okay, so blink. Then the second one is after the first big bump expected at the entrance of the second tunnel. So big bump, okay, relax, blink. And then the second one is after the shape change, which is the second big bump, and then blink. And these were my critical moments. And yeah, so
my editor will be very pleased. His question was about the blinking. He wanted to know about that. Yeah. What an incredible! As you came out of the first tunnel, did you feel the air?
Yes, it was not that windy, but was very strange, because it was left, right. It was quite variable, I have to say. They gave me the wind. We had placed wind sensor along the whole tunnel in the critical points since 1 month before, because and with an app I could watch every day. So I knew the trend, and we knew that at that time the wind should have been very low. But the day before, I landed with 19 knots of crosswind on the highway, because the day was crazy windy. Yeah. So they told us in the morning should be again normal. The thunderstorm passed, so it's all good. But still I was really tense. I knew that we had two backup days in case we needed, but you don't know. And it was good to do it on that day, because the day after was again windy. So I woke up in the morning. I was sleeping in the tunnel. I slept in the tunnel with the caravan. And when I woke up, I checked the wind on the app, and then I realized that the wind was calm, was very good. And then they gave me at the start, when they gave me the okay, when they said the tunnel is clear, you can go from this moment. We knew that we could go from sunrise, and I had 10-minute slots to have the right light for the cameras, because it's also a media thing. So they also had to film it. So there were also a lot of needs from their side. So we had 10-minute slot. And I could wait. And then when they gave me, the wind was about 2 knots. So I said, okay, 2 knots is fine. I had to put the limit, and this is below my limit. So let's go out. And when I went out, I felt the plane wanted to move, but was nothing crazy. Was all in the expected. Was nothing unexpected. But I was really surprised, because after I landed, I checked the sensor at that time, and it was about 2 knots variable. But those 2 knots I felt was very crisp at the exit, because was nothing, and then you feel it, So it was like, oh, okay, windy, but not too much, and then go. But you really feel like somebody that's giving you a push in the back, but not too strong, and then you or on the side, So you just had to correct it, and then I was again into my flow.
You've had an amazing career, Dario. You've not come from wealth and aviation family. You've built it all up yourself. You've done everything. You've had people telling you can't do this, you can't be a Red Bull pilot, you can't. You've pushed through everything. Was there any point in the last year where you were looking at this project and you thought it was too much, or were you always confident?
No, I've never been telling myself it's too much. Never, ever. People have been telling me, Dario, you're dreaming too much, you're dreaming too big, it's not for you. You don't have that background that you need to go to grow in aviation. Why they were asking me why you want to just keep trying to live out of live with this, with it's it's always been like this. So I was the first one not to tell this to me. There were enough people telling me that, and they were just pushing me harder. It was not a problem. I don't regret, and I'm not pissed with these people. Actually, I tell them every time I see them, or when I think of them, I just say thank you guys, because probably without you I would have never pushed so hard in some moments of my life. So it was really, I would not change anything. So if they ask me, you can switch your life with somebody else that can have your life easier, I would say no. So I learned so much from these closing doors in my face, that it's all good. And then it gave me also the force to go to knock on the door of amazing people that helped me. And then I had the chance to meet these amazing people. So it's all good. It's all in equilibrium, I would say.
What a massive inspiration for anybody watching who's just, I don't know, just got the PPL or thinking what their limits could be. You don't have limits, eh?
No, I mean the limits, we put our limits. I don't believe there are limits. I don't believe there is talent. I don't believe somebody can just be born with no limits or better than us. I think we can get there. We just, I think the important thing, and this is something I try to push every time they ask me. The important thing is that we don't try to copy the path of somebody else, but we take inspiration from that person to do our own path with the same strength, maybe, but not the same. Because if I want to do the same life of another guy, and I say I want to do exactly the same path of Peter Bergenier, one of my idols, no, it would be impossible. Then I would stop so many times. I would say, Dario, why are you trying that? He did a complete different life, and you have a complete different life. It's just make your own. And try your own. Just get inspired by his force, by his fighting, by his will to do, but don't try to copy. Don't try to be like him. Try to be like you want.
Yes.
With the inspiration of his strength. Of his not giving up. You don't give up, but it doesn't mean that you have to exactly do what he did.
Yeah.
This is what I think. This is what I personally think. Because if I look back, I can say that many of my colleagues reach the air race in a completely different way of mine, and each of us probably did the same. There are maybe a couple that comes both from military, a couple that comes from classic competition aerobatics, but each of us has his own life. He comes from a different country, so had to do a different thing. Is completely different, everything. So I would just say, just find your own way.
Yeah. In your way, you spent a lot of time ferrying the aircraft and helping to design the racetracks, didn't you?
Yeah, I was the guy testing the track.
Yeah.
So I was I was ferrying a lot. Ferry flying gave me so much, because I was ferrying different edges from different pilots. They were giving me their edges and asking me to ferry. First, I was teaching a lot. I've been teaching for many years full time, and then so they trusted my experience, and they said, okay, Dario, can you ferry? And then I started to ferry for the Red Bull Air Race, where I was flight ops manager, and I learned so much, and I had the chance and the luck to be sitting in these planes so many hours, and it's incredible how much you can learn from ferry flying, even if you're not doing aerobatics. But you can learn so much from the machine. You have the time also to spend and become one thing together with the plane that sometimes you don't have when you fly only 5-10 minutes. So it was great. Yeah, it was absolutely great. Ferry flying and testing the tracks was incredible, because I learned so much from the guys that were actually designing the track, and I was helping. They were giving me the track, I was testing them, and I was saying, oh, I think this is too tight, or this is too wide. So I learned a lot from people like Klaus Schrott, Steve Jones, Paul Bonham. I mean, it's no price for having learned from these people without even knowing that you were learning.
Yeah. The new air race that's coming up, are you involved in designing those tracks?
No, I'm competing in the new air race, and I've been very pleased to be upgraded to the master class, which is now called Aero GP1. So no, I'm not gonna design the track because since I compete, I was not anymore involved in designing the tracks, even in the Red Bull Air Race. So that was just in the first 4 years when I was behind the scenes with the guys. But no, I'm not designing. I'm looking forward to have the design so that I can a little bit, I can train a bit, you know.
Yeah. And you must have a long list of projects you've got on your mind. I mean, obviously you're not going to talk about them, but you must have quite a few. Have you got something coming up in the next year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah, in 2 years, yes. Yes, but I'm not going to tell you more.
No.
Sorry.
No,
but the focus now is air race is now my priority. You know, I have to prepare a plane in the Challenger class. Before I was flying with a plane provided by Red Bull. So I had nothing to do with the plane. Now I have my own plane in small pieces in the hangar. I have to assemble it and make it race ready. I don't have a big budget for the first year, so I'm going to try my best to focus on myself again, so to train myself and try to be ready to at least be competitive. But yeah, there is so much work to do that projects are now back in my bucket list, but back in the corner of my room.
Right. Well, we look forward to it. Look forward to everything you do. You're a real inspiration, Dario. You're my favourite. You're going to be my favourite in the air race, simply because you were born in Manchester, just like me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, yeah. Where you were born?
I was born in Staley Bridge.
Okay, I was born in St. Mary's Hospital.
St. Mary's. Yeah, you were there till you were 6, were you?
No, I was there till I was 1, and then I moved to Libya in Africa.
Okay, so you didn't keep the Manchester accent then?
No, but I have my grandma there, and I go there very often. I spent a lot of summers there with my grandma. So
good stuff. Dario,
yeah, but no, I don't have a Manchester accent.
It's been a real treat to speak to you. I know you're a busy man, and I really appreciate you giving me this time.
No worries. It's been a pleasure, and I'm really always happy to share whatever I can share that can inspire other people, whatever in aviation or not. And was a fantastic honor for me, very big honor to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the race. We'll see you soon. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Ciao.